Even look at you. All right, welcome in, boys. Take it to the bank, Bristol. The Bass Pro Shops night race. I am Keg. He is Coop. Coop, how are you? How are you, my guy?
I am doing great, man. It's been a hell of a run, man. Hell of a run.
Yeah, it has.
And every time we're like, man, it can't get better. It gets fucking better, man. I mean, like, like you hit the frickin' perfect card last night,
It's unreal.
and like racing's just like somehow we find a way to pull it out every week.
I know.
And it's just been a very good run. And I mean, we're set up well so far for the weekend with Heim and Allgaier.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
two Xfinities in a row, man.
Don't start. Don't start. All right, you know what? Last weekend could have been so much better of a weekend, I think, for at least me, because I had to hedge out to make profit on all three of those parlays. But I ended up making money, but I should have made so much more money. But yeah, so we got Tyler Reddick home. Coop got all the top tens home. I did not. But I can't, again, like Coop just said, I can't complain. It's been such an incredible year. We still made money in the race regardless. And that was the 20th race out of 26 that we have made money in the Cup Series this year. That is a crazy run. Especially when you consider that every parlay we bet technically is negative EV. It is. It's not a good bet to make, but we hit them every week. So why stop?
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, like you thought we were crazy, but
Yeah.
Now it's just how we do it. I mean,
crazy, man.
It varies from month to month depending upon what's available for us, sports wise. But I'm really excited with the NFL and what we can do to close out the season. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're gonna. I mean, I guess we got to really be really good the first half of next year. Because if we're not, we could struggle beating this year.
I agree because the lines are getting tighter. I agree totally.
How much tighter do you think they can get?
I don't know, Coop. I don't know. I don't think that the number on the favorites can get much lower.
Right,
but I think that the numbers on the people like you and I that know that cars are going to be good, I think those numbers could still go down some.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, where were we last week? Kansas, right?
Yes, Kansas.
What was your takeaway from Kansas?
I mean, I thought that race was probably one of the not so good Kansas races.
In terms of entertainment value?
Entertainment value and things like that. Yeah. But, from a betting perspective, I liked it because it wasn't as chaotic, let's say, as the prior ones. So, it was still a lot better than the vast majority of the races that we see.
Yeah.
So, it was good. But, I think, man, that race sets up so well from a betting perspective because, Toyota is just so darn good there. Hendrick Motorsports is just so darn good there. And it just makes it easier from a betting perspective, knowing that.
Yeah.
Whereas, with what we got this week, it's a little bit more, dicey.
And yeah, I agree. That first Kansas race this year was definitely one of the most entertaining on the year, and definitely more entertaining than last weekend. And I also agree that it does set up well from a betting perspective, because there were some numbers, man, that were just wrong live in that race last week. So yeah, what? So is Marty out? Marty's done, right?
I hope. No. He's not done. He's 9 points out.
Oh, this is the last one, right?
This is the cutoff.
I hope he's not done,
But
man.
I hope he's not either, because I won a bet on him last week. I had a $50 free bet, and I parlayed it. Imagine that. With hold on, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Washington, Jacksonville money line for $1,000. So,
Okay.
I got.
All right. So Marty's not dead.
I got Larson this week. They gave me another $50. So I took Larson.
I don't hate that.
Yeah. I parlayed it. I got the Eagles through. I get to get the Giants and 49ers through.
I think they both win.
Yeah.
So
not as much, but still. Anything that I can add to the Larson pot is nice.
All right. So now we are at Bristol. Half-mile track under the lights, super high bank bowl. I said to you, like, what's the track comp for this race? It's kind of its own animal. And you said it's unique. You really can't compare it to anything, right? Is that's right. Basic. So what did you use? Did you use last year's race here?
Man, I really have just used my gut more than anything, because, like, if you look at last year's race, is it going to be the same as this year's? I don't know. I mean, like, I sent you that stat, like the top 5 finishers started like 20th, 18th, 16th, something. It wasn't great.
Right.
So do we see that? But, like, just like looking at last night's race and then tonight's race, like, tonight's race was so much more entertaining because they were able to use that high line, and it made it very difficult for cars to pass on the bottom.
Look no further than I cannot believe it took him that long to get by Henrik on tires that were 60 laps fresher. Like, what is that? Do you think that basically means we're going to see zero tire wear here tomorrow?
Well, I mean, if you look at, like, how the track came in from just, the truck race to, because you didn't see that in a truck race.
Right.
All right. But then I kind of want to say I remember this last year where, like, I got done watching the Bristol race. I was excited about how it went. And the fucking Cup race was a snooze fest because they just ran one line. Right. So I don't know what's going to happen. And I mean, of course, we get the old traditional, well, this is a new right side tire. We haven't used it. It's going to wear more. Yeah, right. Like, how many times have they said that? So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, like, they ran what? Ty Gibbs ran 48 laps or something like that consecutively.
Yeah. Right.
And his fall off wasn't, that much. So that should give you a pretty good idea right there.
And
it's just not going to fall off.
When you combine that with the fact that on short tracks this year, it's been all but impossible to pass the leader once they clear the lead. It could be a snooze. It could be a really boring race tomorrow night.
It could be, but these drivers, like, they've got to be so focused because Ryan Blaney's been much better here than his results show.
Right.
Because I know 2 times he's led over 100 laps, and 2 times he's been taken out by a lap down car. And we almost saw it happen tonight where that one car slid up into the wall. The one with, I think it was with Jones, because the leader barely got through that too. So I don't know. You just got to – it can happen anywhere here. But, I just don't hope we see the tire issues we saw last year and the steering issues that we saw.
So Coop and I, we were talking this week, and we basically felt really good about 7 or 8 guys that we thought could win the race this week. And if you look at practice, Coop, we were fucking dead on the money, bro. Busher was the second best in practice. Byron, the third best, or well, around there. Bell was in the top 7 or 8 cars. Denny, Elliott, Larson were in the top 7 or 8 cars. Bowman wasn't that far back. The 2 surprises in practice for me was I know that we've been very high on Bubba getting better. I didn't think that he was gonna look that good on a short track, but I think that goes a long way to say just where Toyota is at
He
right
placed
now.
8th here last year, and I mean, I know he had a couple good runs here in the Richard Petty car, so it's not a bad track for him.
Ty Gibbs didn't come out of your mouth or my mouth this weekend, and he was the best car in practice for sure, I think.
Yeah, but like I kept telling you, man, like you can't, like, this practice, like, don't overrate it, man, because it doesn't mean as much as like what some other tracks mean, because they're so close to each other. Like
Right.
Corey Heim didn't practice well.
Well, I mean, what's not well? I mean, he was in the top 10. He might have not been the nuts, but
Right.
yeah.
Did Gel Jr. practice well?
No.
Did Trevor Bayne practice well? No.
No.
So, don't get, too sold on those practice numbers, because they're so close to each other.
Right.
And there's so many cars out there on practice that if one, could inadvertently slow down another, not mean to, and affect the, lap.
And not only that, but if you look at Group A in practice today, right? They were 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18th fastest. So, I mean, like, I don't know why. Why do you think that is, that group in particular killed everybody?
And the track changed, obviously. And it was
But
much more
wouldn't
favorable
it get
for them.
better though? Like, isn't it the more tire you put down on the track, the better it would be for Group B? Isn't that how it's supposed to work?
You would think so, but I mean, maybe the heat or something. I don't know, or if there was clouds or so on and so forth. But like I said, it's very, like, Keselowski, horrible in practice.
Horrible.
But
I was like, he's lost in space right now.
Yeah, great in qualifying.
Yeah. And it's worth noting that of that Group B that qualified today, the 3 fastest cars were Byron, Bowman, and Hamlin.
Yeah.
Of those 3.
Like, look at Busher, great in practice. He had missed his lap.
Yeah.
I don't know if he missed it, but, wasn't what he wanted to be. So, the bottom line is track position means so much, in this race. And, there's going to be opportunities for drivers who start mid-pack and on back to, take up track position and gain it based on, when the cautions flow and so on and so forth.
Right. And we can guarantee that there are going to be 2 or 3 different pit strategies here, like we saw tonight, where, somebody could be flying late with a fresh set of tires. That's what happens at Bristol sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, McDowell qualified. He wasn't on our radar. Michael McDowell. He's starting in row 2. That was a surprise to me.
Corey LaJoie had a good qualifying run.
Right.
I'm sure he wasn't great in practice either. So,
but for the most part, everybody that we thought was going to be strong was relatively strong. Bell again. Is that the 3rd pole in a row for Chris Bell?
It is, man.
It's unreal. Like,
a couple weeks ago when I said he was going to win, I meant to say he was going to pole the next 2 races.
One of these days, man. One of these days, this kid's not going to have an issue, and he's going to romp. He's going to romp.
Could be tomorrow night. And The number one pit stall.
Big.
Yeah.
Big.
So
Who had it tonight? Custer?
I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, big. All right, so the odds are down, but Coop was smart enough to tell me to take screenshots, and that's what I did.
Oh man, I had this thought in my head, man, that like we were gonna come through here, and you're like, oh, I totally forgot. And I'm gonna be like, damn, that's your one freaking job. But you came through.
I came through.
What is it?
Actually, you know what?
365?
Yeah, I used Bet365. I'm gonna pull them up on the side so we can actually see each other. Give me 1 minute. Because I could just reel off the odds. Okay. All right. So this is all before practice and qualifying, obviously. So keep that in mind, boys. Kyle Larson was your odds-on favorite at 6-1. I think that you and I both think that he's got a shot to win this race. I think he's been relatively strong for a couple weeks now. He's coming back into form. The summer vacation, like Coop says, is over. It's playoff time now. And, you know, I don't know what he's going to come back at, but
what do you think? I have a number.
750.
I was going to say 8.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, listen, at 8-1, I think you'll have to have him as one of your guys because he's more than capable to win this race. All 4 Hendrick cars are capable of winning this race. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. So the pros for Kyle is, you know, he has that win. He's into the next playoffs round. He's kind of like on a hot streak, you know, running really well, like you mentioned. And, you know, he's starting in the back. So, you know, he has that ability to play the strategy card and take some chances because he has that win. The negative is, you know, one, he's going to have a fast Chris Bell or Denny Hamlin or somebody rolling down his butt. And he's got to get through so he doesn't lose a lap. All right.
Right.
And with that said, he's got to go through a lot of traffic, and he could easily get caught up. Or,
100%.
you know, he could create the issue because, you know, he's wanting to be aggressive and, you know, not get a lap down. So,
right.
You know,
Look no further.
Spot.
Look no further than what happened to Ty Majeski last night. He had a great truck, but you know these guys are bumping off each other and banging, and you'll get a tire. A tire will rub because a fender's not warped right, and there you go. He's back 25th because he has to go down pit road. So that could easily happen to any one of these cars tomorrow night, no doubt.
Like, if you haven't bet him, I would probably, you know what my parlay is or know what the number you want to bet him solo is, and wait live.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And you know, like I said, if he comes back to 750, 8, you know, you just say, all right, when he gets to 6 or 650, you got to have that number, you know, that you're willing to bet straight or have that parlay ready.
So as of right now, is he a live bet for you, or will you bet him?
Bet him.
Oh, so you bet the 4 guys that we were talking about?
I bet. Yeah, he was one of the 4 I bet.
Okay. So yeah, I'll probably, looking at the odds, I'm probably going to have money on the first 6 guys. So the second guy, I'm with Coop. I'll be on Larson. I'll have to obviously get creative because that's what we do here now, but I'll be on him. Second choice, Keselowski at 8-1. Again, Coop. The 3 Fords that Coop and I spoke about this week were Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, and Chris Buescher. So Buescher qualified in the top 10. I mean, Keselowski qualified in the top 10. It's probably going to be strong. I think you're going to need to have him. The car's been great for 2.5 months now. I assume that you're in lockstep right there, right, with Kez?
Yeah, he was one of the 4 I bet. And, he's led 3 out of the last 4 races here, 80 laps or more. And in general, though, I was disappointed with Ford. I thought they would have a stronger showing overall.
Where did Happy qualify?
21st.
That's worse than I thought he would have qualified.
Yeah. He was one of the people we were talking about, and I'm glad I stuck away from him. I really looked at qualifying, who I thought would qualify well.
Right.
So, Kozlowski, he says, he's had this date circled since last year. So it's a big race for him, and he's seen what Chris Buescher can do and has done, and he's happy about it. But deep down inside, it's burning at him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. So all right, that's Keselowski. I will be on him.
So what do you think he comes back at? He's starting 6th, right?
I think that if he was 8-1 pre-flop, I don't think the number goes down.
You think he stays right around the same?
Yeah.
I was thinking 50 cents one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm thinking somewhere between 8-1 and 10-1. If I had to guess, I don't think it changes.
I would be shocked if he got the 10.
You could be right.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. After him, the next 2 guys, Chris Bell and Will Byron at 8-1. I will be on them both. Coop, you bet them both already?
Yeah, those are the last 2 I bet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I will be on them both. They were 8-1 pre-flop. Chris Bell's not going to be 8-1 anymore. But I'll have him at 15-1, somewhere around there. Listen, man, 3 poles in a row. The car has been so good this year, but the kid he keeps finding a way to fuck it up. That said, if you're betting the outright market, you have to have him. Because if he doesn't fuck it up, he's going to be very strong all night long. And the same goes for Will Byron. Will Byron's coming along, waking up. The vacation's over. He probably deserves to be your second choice right now to win the championship. And I'll be on him. Will he be 8-1? I don't know. Maybe 6-1, 7-1. But again, I'll be on him. I'll be on Larson, Keselowski, Bell, and Byron. Coop's already on them. And I mean, we could skip that. Denny Coop, 8-1. He looked like he had a good. He looked like he had probably, at least in practice, the best car the longer the laps that they logged. He looked like he had the best based on the fractions as they went up the grid. Now, is that going to translate to the race? I don't know. He qualified in the front row, right? He should come back your odds-on favorite if I had to guess. And I'm thinking he will probably be like 550.
I think it's going to be 5 or 550.
So I think we're going to have him. I will be on him. I assume Coop will be on him as well. After him, Chase Elliott, Coop, 10-1. He looked good. He looked good in practice, and this is a great track for him. He's good here.
Yeah, he's good here.
I will be on him for sure, even though he's been disappointing this year. Where are you at with Chase Elliott this week?
I'll bet him live. I want to see what happens first. Not that I don't think he's going to be bad or anything. I just don't know if he's good enough. Now, the thing is, if he somehow gets that track position, he can burn me. I think he comes back at 8-1.
I agree.
And I'll try to maybe hit him at 10-1 live, which will probably put me at 30 at the parlay. So wait and see. But I'm not going to bet him pre-race.
Okay.
I don't think his number is going to move that much at the beginning.
I think 8-1 is probably right. I think that's probably right. After Chase Elliott, Chris Buescher, 11-1. I bet Chris Buescher in practice because DK left the lines open. I think I bet. What did I bet? Let me check. I bet Chris Buescher for a unit at 11-1, and then Buescher and the Lions money line for a half unit at 15-1. He looked good in practice, didn't qualify well. Is he going to win the race? I don't know, man. Probably not. But he looked very, very good in practice, so I threw money on him. Where are you at? Where are you at with Buescher right now?
I'll bet him live if I need to. He's starting 21st. So,
you agree? You agree? He's one of the cars based on what we saw in practice. He's one of the cars that starts moving forward immediately.
Possibly. We'll have to wait and see. But like him and Chase Elliott will be two of the drivers I'm watching very early.
Yeah. All right.
So I don't know.
After Buescher, Kyle.
So what do you think he comes back at?
I think he comes back at like between 14 and 16, if I had to guess.
I was going to say 15.
Yeah.
So we got it covered.
Yeah, I would say somewhere around there, which isn't a bad price based on what we saw him do in practice. After him, Kyle Busch. Listen, you got to respect what he's done at this track. That being said, he didn't look great in practice. He wasn't one of the 7 or 8 guys that you and I named this week. I think he's a pass for me right now. Where are you at on him?
I agree. I'll be watching him live. Not going to run to bet Kyle Busch, but I think he'll come in right around 15 too.
Last week's winner, Tyler Reddick, before P&Q was 12-1. I don't know, man. Like, if that high line really comes in tomorrow night,
yeah,
I think you got to at least take him seriously. He wasn't one of the 8 guys that you and I mentioned, but he didn't look bad in P&Q. And man, if that high line comes in,
yeah, and he's running really well.
Yeah,
he hasn't had the greatest luck here though. So
he's been fast. The last 2 months, he's been very good.
Yeah, but he's another driver I'll keep my eye on.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like tonight, like I'm looking for tomorrow night. I'll be looking for the Brandon Jones and the Trevor Bayne.
Yeah, right.
Because they were the drivers who moved at the beginning in that long run of the Xfinity race.
Yep, I'm with you. After him, Chastain and Blaney were 14-1. We didn't talk about Chastain or Blaney really at all this week. I don't know. They're a pass for me right now. Where are you at?
I'll definitely keep my eye on Ryan Blaney. I think that if we don't see tire wear, it's an advantage for him.
Okay.
I think he's going to run well. I don't know if he's a winning car, but I think he's a top 10 car. He's had some good races here. It's just that like Penske's a step behind right now of the Ford of RFK, which puts them 2 or 3 steps behind Toyota and HMS.
Right.
So it's tough, but I'll keep my eye on him. I mean, he's another driver who could easily pop up there, and there's the thing that's going to make tomorrow night's race tough. There's a lot more Daniel Hemricks tomorrow night than what there is tonight. Drivers who could be there at the end and screw us, because I don't know if you noticed or not, but they had that caution, and there was like around 65, 70 laps left. They never opened back up, and then they had another caution with like 45 laps left. and obviously they never opened up back after that. So, that's the thing that worries me, is that we could get screwed, because I think could be a couple more Daniel Hemricks tomorrow night than what there is, tonight.
I don't really disagree with that. The one thing I'll say, though, is I do think that it's a good thing that this race is on Saturday night, because we won't have to deal with them changing all the NFL lines. I think they'll be more attentive for us tomorrow than if this race was on Sunday.
Right. Because we could have very easily got buried tonight.
100%, bro.
You would have been in such a shitty mood.
I would have been angry, yeah, because I hate the series. I hate that series already. You're right. What about Chastain? Well, he qualified 23rd, looked mediocre in practice. Where you at with him?
Keep watching him.
Is this a good track for Ross Chastain historically?
No.
Okay. After him, Logano and Harvick 16-1. I mean, you and I thought we would be unhappy at some point during the race or this week. Hasn't happened yet.
I don't think it's going to happen.
But, yeah, I mean, listen, if they really come with a new tire that falls off, man, maybe. But if not,
yeah, we got to watch those two, because I know, one, Joey likes to play strategy. His crew chief's very good at it. And two, Harvick's 9 points above Truex. So he's going to be really racing with Truex. And, if Bubba can continue to stay up there, he could come through too. And I don't think Joey's too far off of Harvick. So if we see a situation where we had tonight where there was like 20 laps, I think, left in stage 2, and that's when Jones and Earnhardt came down, along with Bain and a couple others.
Right.
Like the drivers, I think, like Logano, Harvick, Bubba, all those ones right on that edge are probably going to stay out for the stage points, depending upon where they're at and how the car is and so on and so forth. So I really look for – we got to watch them close to see how they play,
right.
how they react, what their strategy is, and
right.
things of that nature.
Exactly what they're racing for, right?
Right.
Okay, after Happy, the most intriguing name on the board right now, Martin Truex Jr. at 18-1 before practice and qualifying. Now, he's been fucking god-awful at this track, right? That being said, he's starting in row 3, and he could really use a win right now. I mean, I think we have to take him way more seriously than we thought we were going to yesterday.
Yeah, I think we do, but like Truex doesn't run bad here. He's just had a lot of bad, luck decisions. He's ended up in a lot of crashes, let's say. So we'll have to wait and see.
What do you think he comes back at? What do you think he comes back at? Sub 10-1.
10. Because I don't think you can put him in front of Larson, Byron, Hamlin, Bell. I don't even think you can put him in front of Keselowski. Maybe he's why Keselowski gets a 10-1.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I wouldn't expect it to be more than 10-1. It's not a good number for me to want to bet him.
Yeah.
Based upon his history here.
He scares the shit out of me, though.
Yeah.
After Marty, Bubba closed 28-1 pre-practice and qualifying. He will not be 28-1. Where are you at with Bubba now, Coop? My gut says he comes back like 18-1, probably 16-1, somewhere around there.
Yeah, he's in that group of drivers we're going to have to watch and see. He's right on the playoff cutoff line. Depending upon what happens to these other drivers, there's probably going to dictate what he does.
Yeah, I'm with you. I can't get on him pre-flop, but I'm with you. He's definitely one of the cars that we have to watch. After Bubba, Ty Gibbs was 40-1. So listen, the reason why people should get into the Discord is because they left practice numbers. They left the numbers open for the race on DraftKings today for the first 25 minutes of practice. And Ty Gibbs looked like he had the stone nuts in practice. There's just no other way around it. He was the fastest 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. Like, he looked like the stone nuts. Now, does that mean it's going to translate over to the race? No. But he was 55-1. And I bet him for a half unit at 55-1. And I bet his top 5 at 6-1 for a half unit. They're both live. He's starting in row 4. He's 40-1. He was at Bet365. First of all, Coop, where are you at on him? Do you think that he has the temperament to fucking stay calm and collected and go and win the race? And where do you think that number comes back at now?
I think it comes back at
25, 20,
16.
Think it'll be that low?
Yeah.
Where are you at on him? Is he a wait and see, or do you feel like you have to get on him?
He's a wait and see. He's a wait and see for me. But he's not in the playoffs, so he's just there to win.
Right.
So he can do what strategy he decides to do, and it doesn't really matter. He's gonna hopefully, for his own sake, take the strategy that's best for a win.
Right. I'm with you. All right. After him, Alex Bowman 50-1. Now, I was a little higher on Alex Bowman than you were because you thought only really Byron, Larson, Elliott were the 3 from Hendrick that could win the race. Do you still feel that way? Or do you think that he's more live than you thought he was at 50-1?
I think he's more live than I thought he was. My biggest concern with Alex Bowman is this is a physical race on the driver. Because, you're in those turns, you're at the G-forces, and you're constantly, just being moved around, shaken around, and, how healthy is that back?
Yeah.
So that's my only concern. He's had some good results here. And, he was like Ty Gibbs, he can just race for the win.
Right.
So definitely somebody we got to keep the eye on.
Yeah, and we'll be, if he is coming, we're going to be able to get a good number on him live. So I don't. Yeah, I was just going to say I don't think there's any reason for us to bet him before the race starts because we'll probably get a decent number on him. And
back to what you said about being in the Discord. The fact that DK was open was not called out by you or myself. I wasn't even around, but it's just somebody who was in there. So,
yep, it's worth getting in the Discord. There's a link in this video in the description to hop in the Discord. If you guys aren't in there, get in there. 400 plus people in there that we just collectively kill sports betting. So it's worth getting in there. After Alex Bowman, is there anybody that you think is worth talking about?
Maybe Chase Briscoe. He did pretty well.
He was 80-1 before practice and qualifying.
Eric Jones, I was high on, but he shit the bed. You know what? If Carson Hocevar's number comes back at 300 or 400-1, do you think he's worth a shot? The kid's been good in this Cup car.
Here's what I'll say. He was they closed P and Q. He was 250-1 at Bet365, right? I think that he's probably what do you think his top 10 number comes back at? 15-1?
No.
Less than that?
Like 7.5.
What would
They're
you need?
stingy on them top tens, man.
What would you need, you think, to bet him to hit the top 10?
Oh, I mean, you give me his number plus San Francisco and Buffalo money line.
I'll tell you what, I'm not against you and I taking the shot on him to hit the top 10.
He's been good in that Cup car, and they found some speed somewhere, you know. And then
he closed 8-1 to hit the top 10 before practice and qualifying.
Yeah, it'll be lower than that, but we can get it at 10.
Yeah, I like that call, Coop. Maybe a nice little top 10 action on our guy. I don't mind that.
But, like what I'm really excited about for next year is like we're getting rid of some of these bums, and we're putting decent drivers or young drivers who are very hungry in these cars because Spire Motorsports, they have LaJoy this year and Ty Dillon.
Right.
LaJoy's been up and down, he's had his moments, but like they're adding Carson Hocevar and Zane Smith next year. That's a nice little team.
Yeah, that's a nice little team.
It's much better than watching Ty Dillon and BJ McLeod and those bums drive around.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that. All right,
it helps with the competitiveness too.
That's the outright market. So the guys that will definitely be on Larson, Keselowski, Bell, Byron, Denny, and Elliott, I'll be on them. And Coop's on 4 of them already. And then we'll probably bet the rest live. Top 5 market, Coop. Anybody interest you?
Pull up the number.
I got them.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to see them on the screen?
Yeah, I don't have them available to me, and I don't have them all memorized. I can remember starting positions, but not, all
Yeah. All right, that's the top 5 market right there.
Well, looking at it, we lost Ty Gibbs, we lost Bubba Wallace. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see what it comes back at. But I don't feel good about betting the top 5 market this week like I did last week because there's more randomness here. Whereas last week I felt really good about Toyota, 6 drivers, Hendrick, 3 drivers, 9 drivers, boom.
Right.
I can't do that this week, so I'll probably stay away.
I'll tell you what. If Alex Bowman comes back at 7-1, I'll bet that to hit the top 5. I don't mind that bet. 7-1.
I doubt it.
But yeah, I don't really see anything here that piques my interest. Top 10 market. God, dude. I mean, I could see us getting on the first 7 guys.
Yeah, I could see us getting on the first 7 guys, and I could also see us losing and getting only 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
That's why I just want to stay away from it this week. It's just, I ran it well, and I just don't feel good about it like I did last week.
I'll probably bet some top 10s.
I'll go deep. Briscoe, I had Briscoe written down at 350, but that number's going to come back lower. Like I said, I don't mind that Hocevar, what we talked about.
Do you think Bubba's plus money? He was plus 140.
I mean, we can get him plus money. It's just a matter of is he going to be minus 120? Ross Chastain, I think he's going to be below Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch. Busher will probably fall. Blaney might fall. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be plus money. I think he'll be low negative money. because you got to think Bubba's going to move up, Ty Gibbs is going to move up. Harvick, I already have a Harvick top 10, but I don't know, disappointing for him.
Yeah.
I just don't feel comfortable betting 10 drivers and feeling like I can get 5 to 7 of them through this week.
Matchups. Did you see any matchups? Did you write any down that you liked before practice and qualifying?
Well, I bet Harvick over 2X. That's live because I had it with the Eagles money line.
Okay.
Don't feel great about it right now, but we'll wait and see how that ends up. But
Marty,
no, there weren't any that like really like. I think this is a good opportunity though, to where we can go back and maybe get some that are going to be good plus numbers.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see. Because like if like Reddick is up against, Kyle Busch, like what do you think that is? 110, 110? Minus 110, minus 110?
Probably. Yeah. Probably. Group bets. Let me put the group bets up on the screen. At least we have.
Thank you, Viral. That's nice.
What?
You got our ticket. Man, I had it written down, and I pussyfooted out, man.
What?
Group D, taking Bubba and Ty at those numbers just because they were freaking ridiculous. Like, you don't see those numbers anymore. Like, that's going to haunt me.
Wow.
I had it.
Yeah, that's going to haunt me too. Fuck. 4 to 1 and 5 to 1. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Like, what are they thinking? Like, they're going to come back favorites now.
Oh yeah. They're gonna be the ones that are plus 175 now.
Yeah. I had my mind on writing down Group C and just taking Harvick, but I already had him in top 10 and head-to-head against Marty, so I passed on that one. The other two I really didn't have any interest in because of, the prices, and it could have gone either way, I thought.
Winning manufacturer, Chevy, Toyota, and Ford. Coop brought up the idea to just take all three and try to get the numbers up, which I didn't hate, to get guaranteed plus money. So we put the three of them in parlays to get them up. I think I got like all of them, basically all three at like 9 to 1 is where I was at. We have to get some NFL sides home on Sunday, but I think we can get there.
So one, I didn't bet Chevy yet because I wanted to hopefully get a better number. Two, you asked me if I made any bets. I told you I made that bet. Oh, I like that. I think I'm going to bet it. I come back, check the phone a couple hours later. You got a play listed up. I go to the website, check it out. Oh, you bet Chevy, Ford, and Toyota. You cocksucker. You always have to do it. You always have to get better numbers than me.
Listen, bro, we don't all live in Betfred world, okay? Occasionally the little guys get one over. You know what I mean?
No, I mean you just parlay different aspects than what I did to get better.
Right. Right. Yeah. Right. Same games though, probably, right?
But I'm convinced you said, all right, Coop has it at this. I got to get it at that.
No. I was like, what do I need? What do I need here on all three to make it worth it? I was like 8 to 1. 8 to 1 will be worth it. We'll go with it. And then that's just where it fell.
What did you bet on? Thirds, halves?
A unit each.
Oh.
Yeah, unity.
So I don't want to get too carried away, but I think it might be a good topic
What?
for new people, or even people that have been around for like. You brought up a great topic when we were talking to each other today, like how you bet versus how I bet.
Oh,
You want to
right,
talk
right,
about it?
right. Yeah, yeah, right. So a big part of the reason why I'm betting full units, obviously, is because I have a bankroll that has accrued over 20 years of sports betting, and it's what I do for my job, and that's why I could just fire, right? Coop, who like started like 3 years ago as a new better, was betting $50 units, has now increased that 5 times, but he still gets a little bit more creative and still goes for higher numbers because he's only betting a third of a unit instead of a full unit on something. So for people that are new betters, the best way to build your bankroll are straight bets. There's no way around that. That's how I did it. That being said, you can bet smaller amounts of units like Coop and still get relatively the same return if you're shooting for the moon and you're really putting together parlay pieces that you think are live that could really give you 10x whatever your investment is at a minimum. So, don't go crazy. You guys, if I have a unit on the spreadsheet, you don't have to bet a full unit unless you have the bankroll that I have. And that's only because I've been doing this for so long. So that's something to keep in mind when you're betting everything that's on the website.
Maybe next year I'll get up to a nickel.
Yeah,
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe.
Bro, you'll have the motorhome in 2 years. 2 years you'll have the motorhome.
No.
Uh, team of the race winner. Did anything pique your interest?
I thought long and hard about doing that the same way I was doing the Toyota. I mean, not the Toyota, but the manufacturer. But in the end, there's just too many teams. Like, I like the numbers. Like, I think RFK was 500. 23XI was like 800. But then I just kept telling myself, like, I can't, one, bet all these teams, and two, like, I can't, feel confident that, if I don't bet one of them, that's the one that could screw me.
Right, right.
So, I stayed away from it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I kind of agree.
But because, like, again, like if it was like last week where it was like I could take HMS 23XI and Joe Gibbs, yeah, I would. But it wouldn't surprise me if a Penske team won, a Penske car, or a track house. Like, this is crazy shit. We never thought Chris Buescher would win this race last year.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Top manufacturer, top Chevy, top Ford, top Toyota. Are there any cars that you think stick out that you feel that we should target?
I think the numbers are too low on the Chevys, and they're probably going to be really low on the HMS cars now. But then, I think I would just rather bet HMS wins versus the top Chevys.
Right.
Ford, I think, is a crapshoot, and you got to get too involved. Like, prior to the race, I would have said, yeah, I feel confident with Brad and Buescher.
Right.
But now, I think a lot of them are in play, actually, because they weren't impressive, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then I bet Toyota.
What'd you do? Top Toyota parlay? You bet all of them?
Yeah, I had to do it for our guy Adam. You know, um, he thinks our parlays are not risky enough.
That's just a wild statement.
So I put one in for him, and I think it's got a legit shot to win. But I bet 2/10 of a unit to win 2 units. So I mean,
What do you
it wouldn't surprise me if it won, but
What do
I'm
you
sure
think?
something will screw it up.
What do you think Bubba and Gibbs come back at in Top Toyota? They were 9-12 at Bet
Yeah,
360.
I think they're going to come back in. I think they'll be. I think they'll lower every single one of those drivers except for Denny and Bell, and keep Denny and Bell at 210. And I think everybody else will go down. And I think Gibbs will be 650 and Bubba will be 6.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think that's probably right. Maybe it'll be like 6 and 8, but they're not
I don't
gonna
think.
get.
I was going to say I don't think Bubba should have been 9 to begin with.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't really disagree with that. Denny and Bell deserve to be the favorites, though, no doubt.
Yeah, and they'll probably be 180.
Yeah.
But they'll lower everybody.
Although Marty qualifying in the top 6 could that could raise their numbers.
Reddick's the worst qualifier. He starts 12th or 13th.
I know. They're fucking nuts, man. They're so locked in right now, Toyota.
Yeah.
They're so locked in.
They are.
And I guess that's all the markets. So obviously I'll have outrights up on the website, and I'll probably have a few top 10s. But outside of that, Coop, I probably won't bet the top 5 market unless they do hang like 8-1 on Bowman. If they keep that number, I'll probably take a shot at that. But aside from that, no top 3s, probably no group bets, probably no matchups unless something comes back really appealing. I'm not betting top manufacturer at all this week. So I think it's relatively straightforward.
Wait a minute. You got to go in the top Toyotas.
No, come on, man. I'm not doing it. Because I know how many drivers that I'm going to bet in the outright market. So I don't even want to get involved. I don't want to get killed.
It'll be fun.
No, sometimes it's not fun, Coop. I know that it seems fun a lot, but not always. I don't like this peer pressure, Coop. I don't like it.
Not too long ago, I mean, you were like, I'm never betting Xfinity again, and tonight you hate
KD. Let me tell you something, bro. If we didn't hit that race tonight, I would have broke so much shit in my house before I went to bed. It would have been bad. It would have been real bad.
Yeah.
So did you say you wrote a message in Discord that said that they moved the race up an hour, huh?
Yeah, 6:30. Evidently, there's some rain coming in tomorrow night. Later in the evening, I believe. Let me check my weather app and see what it says.
I hope that doesn't affect us, because I could see the rain coming late. Everybody that we just had pit, and then we get absolutely murked.
Ooh.
Oh, come on, Coop. When I'm about to invest fucking $10,000 into the race, that's not what I'm looking to hear, bro. Ooh, what does that mean? Ooh,
it's worse than what it was when I checked earlier. 60% at 6, 65% at 7. 55 at 8, 55 at 9, 60 at 10.
Oh man, does this change everything? Now I don't know if we want to be so invested. Fuck.
And it does not get below 50% until 7 p.m. on Sunday night.
Do you think
the only saving grace is it doesn't get above 70% anytime.
Let me ask you this. Do you think because it's a playoff race, they will finish every lap no matter what, no matter how long it takes?
No.
No.
They just need to get to 250 or whatever the end of the second stage is, whichever one's. But yeah, it's looking worse than what it did when because like when I saw that, I pulled it up. I was like, wait a minute, all week it wasn't supposed to rain at all. Like that message that they moved it up kind of came out of the blue to me. So I looked at it, and at that time it was like 20, 30, 35%. I was like, oh, well, we should be fine. But it looks like it's getting a little worse. So, yeah.
That is not what I want to hear.
Me either. I think what you need to do is just know what you want to bet. And then maybe you don't pull it until 4 or 5 when you have a better idea of what's going to happen, or you just wait. You know? I don't know. Yeah, not good.
Now I have to think if I'm going to do what I thought I was going to do.
What, but the drivers we were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday doesn't look good either. Disappointing.
God damn it. It's never easy.
If you can't bet live, or at least until later in the race, how would you bet this pre-race? I mean, at the beginning of the show, Jay said he was going to take the top 6 drivers, so.
Yeah, Milo, the cars, I mean, I'm not sure what I'm going to do now. I have to figure it out. But the cars that you should target are the cars that Coop and I were talking about. Larson, Byron, Denny, Bell, Keselowski, Busher. Those are 6 right there. And then I was probably going to be on Elliott too. And then go from there. But the weather could fuck it all up.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to think about it. All right. Quick show.
What about football real quick?
So,
I know one of the things when we talked earlier today, you said you really liked the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think
I looked at that, and like I've looked at some of the parlays you put out there too. Like they're hard to get on, in my opinion. Like from a numbers perspective, like how do you back them?
Why? What do you mean?
Like the money line's minus like 425.
Oh, you're talking about Dallas?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you have to like probably either see. I don't want to get anywhere near their team total because of how good that Jets defense is. But I also don't think that the Jets are going to be able to consistently score because that Dallas front 7 is ridiculous. And I think Zach Wilson is going to have a real hard time dealing with the pressure. So I think that you have to either bet Dallas either like halftime, full time, -6.5 on the alt spread, -3 on the alt
You
spread.
think they can win by 6.5?
I think they could, yeah, because
I
this
mean, I know
like
you said you thought it was a 24/7 type.
it could be my gut says like 24-7, 24-10 final is what my gut says. I just don't think that the Jets are going to be able to score a lot of points.
But didn't Dallas not play very well at home last year?
I'm not sure. I would have to check their home record.
But like, I don't know. I could just see Dallas laying a turd and making it a much closer game.
Could happen. It could happen.
Like, I don't feel confident taking the 6.5 minus.
I mean, they're always capable of laying an egg. That could happen. Did you see Tony Pollard's anytime touchdown went from even money last week to like -170?
It's horrible.
It's crazy, bro. So crazy.
But I mean, I haven't like looked in depth at it, but like I was just finding a hard time finding a way to get on Dallas that like I like.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to get on them in terms of a straight bet. Unless you think that it's because of that Jets defense, it's going to be a low scoring game. I don't mind the under either. What's the total?
38.5.
That's why. Like, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about that game, they literally beat a team 40-0 last weekend. And now that line is 38.5 because that Jets defense is for real, man. I bet you that game goes under even still.
And then, what do you think about Indy? Because I guess there's some news about Stroud is questionable now, and even if he plays, how effective is he going to be? But like that Tennessee team, man, like Texas team, man, they played some teams really tight last year at the end of the year. Like they're
their defense didn't look bad against Baltimore. I mean, it didn't look awful.
Right.
I mean, here's what I'll say: if Stroud doesn't play, in my opinion, it's an upgrade for Houston because
Who's
right now
is it still
it's Mills, right? Isn't it Mills?
I think so. I guess it's the same guy they had last year.
Like that guy right now. I'll check real quick, but that guy right now is so much better for that team than Stroud, based on what I saw last week and in preseason. I'm pretty sure it's Davis Mills. I'll check though. Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's better for the Texans if he plays. I don't see Buffalo laying an egg. Do you know that over the last 14 years, teams that are 0-1 playing a 1-0 team are 59% against the spread?
Teams that are 0-1
against teams that are 1-0 are 59% against the spread in week 2.
All right, so
they respond.
That would be Cincinnati.
Buffalo.
That would be Chicago.
I lean Chicago.
That would be Kansas City.
Yep. I thought about laying the 3 all week with them. Is there Kelsey news? Is he playing? Do we know?
I know they showed him on the field, limited practice from what I understand.
That would be the Buffalo Bills, right?
Yeah, it would be the Seahawks too. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks get fucking rolled. That defense is really bad. Really bad.
It would be the Rams too. No, the Rams won. They'd be Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Denver.
Oh, Milo said Kelsey will play. Buzzer beater said the Steelers too. Yeah, I'm already on the Steelers. I think the Steelers went outright on Monday night.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think that people just don't realize how good that San Fran team is. I do not expect Pittsburgh to look like that on Monday night. And by the way, like he's 21-2 straight up, Mike Tomlin, outright as a home dog in primetime. That stat is fucking crazy. He gets that team ready to play when the lights are bright, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think they show up.
Good teaser spots with the low totals. Does he mean like teasing the total or teasing like?
He means teasing the dog in games with low totals. That's what he means.
Gotcha.
Most Tomlin wins were with Big Ben. Yeah, that's true. But Kenny Pickett's not bad signed. I think the kid's actually pretty good. He just played a top-notch defense.
Think there's points in that Cincinnati-Baltimore game?
I mean, could Cincinnati possibly look that bad again on offense? That's another team I'm on. I'm on Baltimore plus 3.5. I think they have a great shot to win that game outright on the road. But I expect Cincinnati to play a lot better than they did last week against the Browns.
But I think they score points.
Yeah, we could see points. What's the total?
46.5.
Yeah, we could see points. I think that total's pretty fair, though, don't you? That seems about right.
Yeah.
That Giants line, remember when you and I were talking and you were like, the line's 5.5? I said it should be 4. My PR has 4. It's 4.
Yeah.
They took money. Cards. That number was wrong. But that being
hard to believe the Cards took money.
The Giants have to respond off that game. They have to show up and beat that team.
I mean, they can't. That was like the worst they could have played.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they win that game. I think they respond. Arizona's so bad.
I think they win it pretty easily. But
where you at? Where you at in the Washington game?
I like the under.
38.5.
I got 39, but yeah. Like I just don't see either one of them. Like they're slow team. Like they're not fast.
Do you think that line is right? 3.5. Why are they're catching 3.5 on the road? What does my PR have?
Judy's supposed to be fully back.
Washington. Who are they playing Washington again?
Denver.
So I have Denver 2.5 points better on a neutral field. That would make the Denver line Denver -1. Yeah, I mean, like I kind of feel like I might have to bet Washington at plus 3.5. That number feels wrong.
But couldn't you just see a bunch of field goals in that game, like the under? Even though it's 39.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think about that Falcons Packers game? Everything went right for the Packers in week 1. Everything.
Right. Again, like Atlanta wants to play slow. They want to run the ball with them to Robinson. And I think Green Bay's kind of the opposite. the Green Bay getting their receivers back this week?
I think some. A side that a ton of sharps are on. A ton of sharps are on the Patriots this week, and I think that they're going to get fucking waxed. I could see Miami beating them like 35-17.
In New England.
Yeah. This is not Belichick's team anymore, bro. Those days are over. Tom Brady's not on that field anymore. Like although I will say Mac Jones outplayed Jalen Hurts last week for 3 quarters. I will give him that. But I could see Miami just absolutely fucking them up. Nobody on that team can cover Tyreek Hill. I'm probably going to be on his yards over at like 80.
I can see Miami falling into their trap.
But that offense is so good. Don't you think they're going to score? How are they going to stop them consistently?
Keep them off the field.
I mean, I guess they gave up 34 to Herbert, but that's Herbert. I mean, Herbert's a stud.
But I mean, like both of those teams wanted to play fast. Like New England, they're not going to want to play fast. And I think like they know they can't start 0-2 and lose 2 at home.
Sign said Falcons are the sharp side. Yeah, I almost bet them at +1 signed. I almost pulled the trigger.
Why would you bet somebody at +1?
I don't know. Because
what does that give you?
Because I'd rather lay -110 than lay -122.
So how do you win at +1 point?
Well, you basically have a money line bet, basically, but instead of laying 130, you're laying.
Okay. All right, I'm with you. That's why I asked.
I should have bet the Falcons at +1 because I think they are the side, but now they're -1.5. Detroit, I think scores 30. Where are you at with Detroit this week? I think they're going to win too.
So Seattle started out well last week. And I mean, obviously I didn't watch the game. I watched, what was on Red Zone. They lost 2 offensive linemen. And that's when it went to shit quick. And they were not good. And I don't see a way, that they control Detroit.
That offense is so good for Detroit, man. They're solid. Everybody breaks Jared Goff's balls. That kid is a good quarterback, man. He is not a bad quarterback.
Right.
He knows how to get the ball to the people he needs to get the ball to.
What about Chiefs and Jags?
I think the Chiefs are the side. Not at 3.5, but if that line gets to 3 again, I was close to betting them all week -3, but I didn't. I think they come back and respond.
Yeah, but like, you think the Jags, man,
they're good. They're not Kansas City though.
Right, but they played 27-20. They had a shot last year and Kansas City in the playoffs.
Yeah, they did.
And I think the Jags are better than last year. The Chiefs, I don't know if they're better.
Signed. I love that bet. Goff -16.5 passing yards, heads up against Geno. Take my fucking money.
I don't know about that.
Oh, cool. Stop.
That's fun. I'm just thinking of it. They're going to be throwing a lot, man. Being behind.
Yeah, but I think like in order, because they're going to be behind, It's gonna be because Goff probably has a shit ton of yards. I like that bet.
I don't know. But I think the Jags, I would not
You're
be
not a
surprised.
player props guy, though. You don't like, for some reason, like you don't like to bet player props. They're like free money in the NFL, bro. Especially in game.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Listen, man. It's how I started making a living betting this sport live.
Right, but like it's so much different now than what it was then. Because like it's almost a parlay within a parlay. Because like you're relying on a quarterback if you're playing a wide receiver.
Right, but there are just certain people. Like when I told you I was on Jefferson over 89.5, you were like, I don't know. The dude had 100 and fucking kajillion yards.
Yeah.
The same thing with Tyreek Hill. I'm betting that 80 because he'll like that could literally be 2 balls for him.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that there is such an edge live betting player props. It's crazy. Now, I do think we're running into a problem with streaming because we're a full play, maybe 2 behind now, which is concerning. But I still think that there is an edge.
I hate to go. I think the Jags can win straight up.
Listen. Would it shock me? No, it wouldn't shock me. But I don't feel that bad about taking Mahomes to respond.
But I mean, didn't Kansas City start like 0-2 or 0-3 last year?
They normally their first 4 games of the year somehow they always end up being like 2-2, and then they start rolling. That's happened multiple times. I haven't bet it. Yet because I was hoping it was going to go to 2.5 and not 3.5, but it went the other way.
Like Jacksonville's number 3 wide receiver caught like almost 100 balls last year now. In Kirk.
Yeah. I mean, like, Trevor Lawrence is the real deal, no doubt about it. That kid's the real deal, no doubt.
Like I don't know. I could see
if I was going to bet the Jags though, I wouldn't take the 3. I would bet their team total over 23.5 because they're going to need to score a lot of points to beat them if Kelsey's back and healthy because he's a cheat code.
But I mean, the rest of the team is not good that he's throwing to.
But let me ask you this. They were not good last year, and they won the Super Bowl.
They were better last year. They had Juju Smith.
Marginally. He sucks, Coop. Come on. It's 2023.
Come on. Like, he doesn't have the confidence in the receivers that he had. I don't know. I'm just saying. I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville won this game straight up.
It wouldn't shock me either. It wouldn't shock me
if it went under 2.
What's the total?
51.
Yeah, that's a high total. It wouldn't shock me either. But I do think if they're going to win the game, they're going to get over that 23.5 team total, which would probably be the better way to go. M the Great says CJ Stroud under 207. I don't mind that either, man, if he plays. That kid was so bad. He was by far the worst rookie quarterback in week 1. By far. And there were some bad ones.
Who did Indy play the week before? Jacksonville. So, yeah, you really can't compare.
And Richardson, I thought he looked the best out of all the rookies.
Yeah. Oh, Adam Myers around. He must have had a date tonight or something, man. Either that or he was just smart and said, the way I'm not betting Xfinity is just to not be there.
Richardson to score a touchdown at plus 185 at FanDuel. I bet that exact bet last week, Milo, and it cashed. Now, my goal was to bet that every game this year, and I'm still debating it. My worry is he's banged up, and I don't know how that affects him running the ball this week. But
lower body too, isn't it?
Yeah, but I still think if they get inside the 10-yard line, the easiest way for them to score is to let that kid loose.
Yeah. I could see that game going under too.
So I still might bet him every game. I still might. Because he's going to have, I think that's a winning bet at the end of the year, especially with that head coach when you see what Jalen Hurts did last year in Philly. So I'll probably be on it again at plus 185. I might have to hold my nose and bet the fucking Giants too.
I like the Giants this week.
I really don't want to win 4 though. What's the Giants team total? $21.5. Take my money. I can get behind that.
What's the number?
Minus 115. What does Caesars have on the alt line? Let me check. I'll tell you right now, there's a good chance I'm betting that right now.
That's the ticket right there.
What?
You want to have some risk. Using a two team parlay, Ravens win, Jaguars win. Plus
What's
550.
That? 550. I can't believe I'm going to bet the fucking Giants. Holden put me in a fucking morgue last week back in the Giants.
21. What was it? 21.5?
Yeah, 21.5 minus 115. You can get 21 even at minus 139, but that's too much.
What's 19.5?
204.
I like that in a parlay.
Yeah, but I'm talking about straight bets right now.
Yeah, I know, but I like that 19.5 team total in a parlay. How did they not score 20 points?
Yeah, I don't disagree. That's a good parlay leg for whatever we do with Cup.
And you said it's minus 200?
Yeah.
That's basically a little bit better than the money line.
Yeah, I like that. Signed. What other books have alt team totals that you can move the line? DK doesn't really have that anymore.
Caesars does.
That's the one I was looking at using.
365 has them. MGM has them. FanDuel has them. FanDuel's a little bit different because they skip a whole point. It goes from like 49.5 to 51.5.
Bet 365, bet MGM. Okay. Let's see what they got. Where is that under at Bet 365?
Under what?
For the alternative team totals.
You go to same game parlay.
Oh, it has to be. Yeah, it has to be in the same game parlay.
No, you can bet it individually.
Well, where do you go individually?
Then the 1, 2, 3, the fourth line down where it says team totals. See it?
Yeah. Wow, they have over 20.5 at minus 145. I like that. I like that too. They're going to score 21.
You're talking about the Giants.
Yeah. 19.5 is minus 200 there too.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I like that as a parlay.
20.5 is minus 145.
Just something different. It should be hit.
Yeah. Fucking Gavin. Imagine Gavin breaking our balls. The kid goes to bed at night dreaming about my ROI. Got some fucking nerve. I'm going to be heavily invested into the Niners, the Bills, the Lions, the Giants. And I'm already on the Steelers and the Ravens. And I'm probably going to be on Dallas too. A lot of action. A lot of action.
Man, just like think of the numbers you can get with if you like. Do we just throw a little bit on Jaguars and Ravens money line? I mean, their money line to parlay something. 550, man. That could happen.
It could happen.
Just to kind of cover ourselves in case some of these other bets don't.
It could happen. I really think the Chiefs respond though and get a win. Is Chris Jones playing or is he out?
He'll probably pay a little bit. I just think Jacksonville comes out fired up, man. Like, just think what this could do for their season. To start 2-0, have a win at home against the Chiefs. Like, I just think everybody's looking at it from Kelsey's fucking back. And not even thinking about the Jaguars and giving them any type of respect whatsoever.
Well, I mean, it's just that it's really hard to fade that offense when Kelsey is in the game. I mean, he really is that important to the team.
Right, but like
they beat the Lions. If he's on the field and Tony doesn't get those balls, they beat the Lions. They were up 6 going down the field to go up 2 touchdowns against what you and I consider to be an above average team. So, I think that game last week was a little misleading. I mean, literally one ball went from Tony's hands for a pick 6 the other way for another free touchdown. I think that was not a fair representation of where the Chiefs are at right now. I don't think so. And I think once Kelsey's back and if Jones is back, I think that's huge.
was that his ankle game when he was hurt and hobbled around?
Yeah, he was hurt. Right. Okay. And like Corey said, the Jags struggled last week against Jacksonville. That's true. A game that people expected the Jags to dominate. I think the Chiefs are the side there. I just can't lay 3.5 on the road. I really wanted 2.5. But would it shock me if Jacksonville shows up and beats them? No. Because Jacksonville is a solid team. They're an above average team. I mean, right now I have the Jags 11th in the league in my PR. So they're up 1.5 points above an average team. So I'm with you there. You think the Chargers respond?
Well, Eckler's probably not playing.
Yeah, that's big. That's kind of big.
Tennessee's tough at home.
God, are they going to start 0-2? No Eckler. That's a problem for that team. No Eckler. He's that important to what they do.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right, boys. We'll be live tomorrow at 4. Before I go live, everything I'm on for the Cup race will be on the site. I'll send out the notification, but just check the website an hour before we go live at 4. And we'll be hanging out all night. Me, Coop, Yeg, Johnny, Gav. We are here. And then Sunday, obviously, we'll be live for 11 hours. So come back tomorrow and hang out with the boys. We'll see you. What, Coop? What?
Caesar's posted some lines. We can look at them later.
Oh, all right. I'll see you at 4 for Coop. I'm Keg. We're out later.